Lanes catch
Catch
flights, jet light, fold.
Turn it up some.
Lanes catch flights, jet light.
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. I'm glad to be back. Ball with P, back again with another one, man. And the reason I say I'm glad to be back is because Thanksgiving just passed. I didn't put any videos out. I didn't really do anything during the week. I took some time to be with my loved ones and my family. On that note, I hope everybody had a safe and enjoyable Thanksgiving, man. It came and it went, boy. It came and it got up out of here. Back at you, man. If you haven't checked out my last video, please go check that one out. I discussed if Lakers rookie Lonzo Ball is already a bust. Go check that one out if you haven't checked that one out. Today, we jump into the NFL. And boy, people, let me tell you right now, I'm going off today. I am about to go off today. This is a very, very touchy and sensitive topic to me. As of this point, I have to say I think this is going to be my most important video that I have made so far. Just most important to me. You may think that the video is trash. You may not agree with what I'm going to think. You may not even like the two guys I'm about to speak on today. But today, I am discussing my guys, my idols that I looked up to throughout my entire childhood. Randy Moss and Terrell Owens, two of the NFL's greatest wide receivers, two of the greatest receivers to ever touch a football field. Yes, that is right. I'm going to discuss these two today. Last week, the National Football League, they released their finalists for the next year's upcoming 2018 Hall of Fame class. They released the 27 semi-finalists, but today, we all know, man, my guy, T.O., has been held out of the Hall of Fame for the past 2 years. For the past 2 years, T.O. has been held out of the Hall of Fame for the past 2 years. I'm gonna put some emphasis on that. 2 years. Randy Moss, this is his first year eligibility. He's one of the semifinalists. I'm gonna get into it today, man. I told you I'm finna go off today. Like I said, NFL released the 27 semifinalists. Here's some notable finalists that were on their list. Man, and when I read this list, man, this is all 27. How many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I got 14 here that I wrote down. Notable guys. I'm gonna name one more too that I didn't write down. But here are some notable semifinalists for the upcoming 2018 Pro Football Hall of Fame class. It started with 108. They just last week took it down to 27. So here are 14 of the 27 that I think are the most notable. You got Ray Lewis, linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens. This is his first year of eligibility. Then you got Rondé Barber, cornerback. He played for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Y'all know Rondé. This is also Rondé's first year eligibility. You got Isaac Bruce, wide receiver for the St. Louis and LA Rams and the San Francisco 49ers. Brian Dawkins, safety for the Philadelphia Eagles and the Denver Broncos. Torrey Holt, you see these names? Ray Lewis, Rondé Barber, Isaac Bruce, Brian Dawkins. Next, Torrey Holt, wide receiver for the St. Louis Rams and Jacksonville Jaguars. Edgerrin James, he's a semifinalist, running back from Indianapolis Colts, Arizona Cardinals, Seattle Seahawks. Ty Law, Super Bowl champion, multiple Super Bowl champion, winning cornerback for the New England Patriots, New York Jets, Kansas City, Denver Broncos. I saw Ty Law in Miami years ago. Shout out my boy Ty Law. What up? You probably ain't going to see this, but I'm just going to say what up. Anyway, John Lynch, free safety for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Denver Broncos. Simeon Rice, this is his first year eligibility. Defensive end, he played for Arizona, Tampa Bay, Denver, and Indianapolis Colts. Richard Seymour, also his first year eligibility. Defensive tackle, he played for the New England Patriots and the Oakland Raiders. Brian Urlacher, first year eligibility as well. Linebacker for the Chicago Bears. He's a semifinalist. Hines Ward, Super Bowl champion winning wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's a semifinalist. My two guys, the last two notable players I'm going to mention. Randy Moss, wide receiver. Played for the Minnesota Vikings, Oakland Raiders, New England Patriots, Tennessee Titans, and the San Francisco 49ers. And Terrell Owens. This is his third year eligibility. I'm not sure if I mentioned it. Randy Moss, this is his first year eligibility. T.O., this is his third year as a semifinalist. Wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers, Philadelphia Eagles, Dallas Cowboys, Buffalo Bills, and the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, like I said, it started at 108. They cut it down to 27 for the semifinalists last week. And next is going to be cut from 27 to 15. That 15 will be the 2018 Pro Football Hall of Fame class. and they will be announced on February 3rd in Minneapolis, right before the Super Bowl. Now, I started this video telling y'all I was going to go off, right? And let me tell you why I'm going to go off. Let me tell you why. Let me pull up my sleeves. Tell you why. Now, in my introduction video, I mentioned to y'all that I played wide receiver. This game that I love the game of football. Football was my first love. First love of my life was the game of football. I played wide receiver, and the two guys I looked up to more than anybody, and I have the utmost respect for both of you, Randy Moss and Terrell Owens, my guys more than any athlete. I don't care if it's LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, D Wade, my man D Wade, you my guy. But there's nothing you can't tell me about T.O. and Randy Moss. Ain't nothing. I studied these guys. Every day. I studied these gentlemen every day. Every day. At this house right here, I grew up in this house that I record in. I don't live here anymore. I come here to record because of this place, this setting that I'm in now. This wall that you see right behind me was filled with posters, football players. The entire wall, this wall right here, this entire wall was filled with posters, everything, stats. And the guys you saw the most on that wall was T.O. and Randy Moss. My admiration and respect level for these guys is through the roof. They brought it every Sunday. You could say T.O. more than Randy Moss, because T.O. brought it to you every game, every Sunday. Every single Sunday, T.O. gave his heart and soul. Every single Sunday. Randy Moss, he came in the league, he changed the game. Changed the game. The best deep ball receiver in league history. I don't care who you name. Randy Moss is the best deep ball receiver in league history. I'm passionate about this. I'm about this subject today. Like I said, this is my most important video. I'm passionate about this because I got the utmost respect for these guys. This is T.O.'s third year eligibility. Third year, they played this man. For 2 years. Y'all, Hall of Fame voters, y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves that y'all held this man on for 2 years. Y'all should be ashamed to even call yourself a Pro Football Hall of Fame voter. You should be ashamed of yourself. Like I said, man, before I really get any further, before I get too mad, my respect level for these two guys is through the roof. I want y'all to understand that. It's not going to be any T.O. or Randy Moss slander on this video. Slander them if you want to, because I'm going to come back with you. I'm going to come back at you. Don't do it. I got the utmost respect for these guys. Like I said, I study these guys every single day, man. Randy Moss changed the game. When I played football, even when it came to street football more than anything. You know what I was doing? I'm lining up. I'm going straight down the field. I'm running the 9 route. I'm running the go. I'm running straight down the field. You know why? Because of Randy Moss. Randy Moss changed the way I play. I studied this, man. I'm running go routes in street football all the time. Of course, I ran. That's not the only route I ran, but I'm just letting you know how much of an impact that both of these guys had on my game, had on my life. I looked up to these guys. Like how you know how rappers and football players, how they look up to guys. I'm telling you, Randy Moss and T.O. were my two guys, man. I just want that to be known right now. They changed the game. Randy Moss, he took the league by storm. Wanted to get drafted to the Dallas Cowboys. You see what he did his rookie season against the Dallas Cowboys. Went off on him. 3 catches, 3 touchdowns. Ain't nothing you can tell me. There ain't nothing that you can't tell me about Randy Moss. That I can't tell you about Randy Moss or T.O., man. These my guys, man. So I'm going to get into their stats. I'm going to break their stats down. I'm going to stop. I'm going to get off them for a second. I'm going to get on their stats. So check this out. Randy Moss, my guy. These are his NFL career stats. 982 catches, 15,292 yards, 15.6 yards average, 156 touchdowns in 14 seasons, like I said earlier, with the Minnesota Vikings, Oakland Raiders, New England Patriots, Tennessee Titans, and the San Francisco 49ers. Terrell Owens stats, 1,078 catches. Let me repeat that to y'all. 1,078 catches, 15,934 yards. He almost, if he didn't get hurt that last year he played for Cincinnati, he would have had 16,000 yards. Probably would have had more touchdowns. 14.8 yard average per catch. 153 receiving touchdowns. 153 in 16 seasons with the San Francisco 49ers, Philadelphia Eagles, Dallas Cowboys, Buffalo Bills, in the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, if you look at this picture here, I saw this online. Their stats side by side. Randy Moss and T.O. You can see 982 catches compared to 1078. 15,292 yards, compared to 15,934. Their stats look almost identical. I mean, T.O. has more catches. T.O. has more yards. Randy's got him with the touchdowns. Their stats are almost identical. And I don't know who Peter Schrager is. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, buddy. I think he's with NFL Network. I think that's where this picture came from, too. He says, T.O. or Randy Moss, I don't see both of them getting in this year. And it'll be a travesty. It'll be a travesty. I can't even say I expect both of them to get in because I see what these Hall of Fame voters have done to T.O. already. But God, you better put one of them in. I'm gonna get to the Hall of Fame voters at the end of the video. But yeah, just their stats. Well, I'm gonna get back to T.O. T.O. he had 9 1,000-yard seasons. 2 seasons where he had less than 2 seasons out of all his years, out of his 16 years, he had 9,000-yard seasons. 2 times he was less than 100 yards away from 1,000 yards. So he could have had 11 1,000-yard seasons. That last season, I said, like I told you, he got hurt. That last season he played with Cincinnati, he got hurt. I think he had like 982 yards. He could have had a 1,000-yard season if he wouldn't have got injured. It is what it is. Injuries happen. 5-time All-Pro, Terrell Owens. 6-time Pro Bowler. Led the league in receiving touchdowns 3 times in 2001, 2002, and 2006. Randy Moss, my guy, 10 1,000-yard seasons. 6-time Pro Bowler. 4-time All-Pro. Rookie of the Year in 1998 when he came into the Minnesota Vikings. Led the league in receiving touchdowns 5 times. 1998, his rookie season. Year 2000, year 2003, year 2007 when he had that record-breaking year with Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, and 2009. NFL record, 17 receiving touchdowns in his rookie season, 23 touchdowns in 2007. That is an NFL record for any season. Granted, Jerry Rice had 22, whatever year that was, and it was a league-shortened year. I think it was a strike year, so Jerry Rice, if they had a 16-game schedule, Jerry Rice could have had over 30 touchdowns. But hey, it didn't happen. Randy Moss has that record, 23 touchdowns in that great season that the New England Patriots had in 2007. Neither one of them won a Super Bowl ring. Sadly, man, it hurt my heart. All 3 of those Super Bowls. T.O. played in Super Bowl 39 against the New England Patriots. He was with the Philadelphia Eagles. Played with a screw in his leg. He broke his leg in the playoffs. I think it might have been in the regular season right before the playoffs. T.O. broke his leg. 9 catches, 122 yards T.O. had with a broken leg. 9 catches, 122 yards. He didn't get in the end zone. Philadelphia lost 21-24. That was a 3-point game. Randy Moss, like I said, he played in 2 Super Bowls. Super Bowl 42, lost to the New York Giants. That one broke my heart. They lost 17-14. We all know New England Patriots undefeated season came to an end. And most recently, Randy Moss played in Super Bowl, was it Super Bowl 47? Yeah, with the San Francisco 49ers. They lost that game to the Baltimore Ravens 34-31. Randy Moss had 2 catches and 41 yards in that game. In that first Super Bowl he played in, he had 5 catches for 62 yards and a touchdown. 0-2 in the Super Bowl for Randy Moss, man. Randy Moss played in 2 Super Bowls. He was with the San Francisco 49ers. A lot of you might not even know that, if you didn't know that. And that Super Bowl with the 49ers and the Ravens, Randy Moss played in that game. Like I said, and if you look at the scores with the 3 Super Bowls T.O. and Randy Moss played in, all 3 of the scores, they lost by 3 points. The Eagles lost by 3 points, Patriots lost by 3 points, and the 49ers, they all lost by 3 points. That's crazy. But so you look at their stats, you look at their numbers, and people that don't know anything about football, I guess I should say, and you wonder why they're not in the Hall of Fame. T.O.'s been held out. This is Randy Moss's first year eligibility. The Hall of Fame voters, they say, is because of T.O.'s character issues off the field, which wasn't even supposed to be a factor when the voting was happening. They just changed this. Now on the field issues and all that is an issue and is a factor in the voting, which is baloney, which is a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of bull. Like I told you, T.O. brought it on the field every single Sunday. Every single Sunday. Yeah, he had locker room issues. Yeah, he was a very vocal player. He was a passionate player. Passionate player on the field. Yeah, he had his issues, but when it came to Sundays, this man gave his heart out. This man played every single down. He took no plays off. That's the main difference between T.O. and Randy Moss. My guy Randy, I think I favor Randy more than I do T.O. Because my game, when I play football, I played the game more like Randy Moss than I did T.O. Like I said, but Randy Moss, he played when he wanted to play. He's vocalized that. I play when I want to play. I hate that Randy was that way, but look at the numbers I just said to you. Look at the numbers. Look at, and I'm gonna get into their ranks. T.O. he ranks second all time in receiving yards, ranks 8th all time in receptions with that 1,078 catches, ranks 3rd all time in receiving touchdowns, 153 touchdowns. Randy Moss, he ranks 3rd all time in receiving yards, ranks 15th all time in catches with 982, and he's 2nd all time behind Jerry Rice in touchdowns, 156 touchdowns. So T.O. 2nd in yards, 8th in catches, 3rd in receiving touchdowns. Randy Moss, 3rd in yards, 15th all-time in catches, 2nd all-time, number 2 all-time in receiving touchdowns. And if you look at their ranks right here, receiving touchdowns all-time, you got Jerry Rice, number 1. Nobody's catching Jerry Rice. 197 touchdowns. Of course, the greatest wide receiver of all time. He's way before my era. I studied Randy Moss and T.O. because they were in that's my generation of football players. Randy Moss, 2nd with 156 touchdowns. T.O. 153 touchdowns. Chris Carter, number 4, 130 touchdowns. Marvin Harrison, 128. He's number 5. Like I said, this is Randy Moss' first year. T.O., this is 3rd year. Marvin Harrison, he's going to get in there, no doubt about it. Receiving yards, here's the top 5 receiving yards in NFL history. Jerry Rice, again, number 1, the greatest, the GOAT. 22,895 yards. T.O.'s behind him, number 2, with 15,934. Randy Moss, number 3, 15,292. Isaac Bruce, 15,208. And Larry Fitzgerald, Larry Fitzgerald right now has 15,169 yards. He's still playing. He finna pass Randy. So Fitzgerald finna be number 3. Fitzgerald, he's gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Isaac Bruce, he's eligible this year. We'll see if he gets in. But look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. I don't care what character issues either one of these dudes had. It's the Pro Football Hall of Fame. These two gentlemen numbers speak for themselves. They should both be in the Hall of Fame. They're gonna get in there at some point. I just think that it's a travesty. That both of them. I hate to say it, but I feel like Randy's gonna be waiting because of how they did T.O. T.O. better be getting in there this year. T.O. he's vocalized his disagreement with the decision. He's been very, very vocal ever since he first got held out of the Hall of Fame, his first year eligibility. He's been very vocal. I think he's getting to the point now where he's not even surprised. To me, I know deep down it hurts him because he really does care. But to me, it just seems like now he's just like, it is what it is, man. I should have been in there. I should be in there right now. But what can I do? What can I do? And it's just a travesty, man. It's really just a travesty. And like I said, I really feel like they're going to hold Randy Moss out. Because, I mean, if you held out T.O. for 2 years, you got to, if that's the way they're thinking, I'm not thinking like that. But if that's the way they're thinking, then we held out T.O. for 2 years, we got to hold out Randy Moss for at least 1 or 2 years. And it's such a shame, dog. I don't know if these guys hate both of these gentlemen because of everything they did in their careers, but when it comes to being on that football field, these two guys they gave their hearts out, man. And they're if you ask me, the top 3 wide receivers all time. Number 1 is Jerry Rice. Number 2 is T.O. I'm putting T.O. over Randy Moss because T.O. could do more things than Randy. T.O. could go across the middle. T.O. could go down the field. Julio Jones reminds me of T.O. because Julio Jones could do everything. That's my guy. Shout out Julio. Had a monster game on Sunday against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers yesterday. That's my guy. Randy Moss is the 3rd best receiver all time, man. It's Jerry Rice, T.O., Randy Moss. That is my top 3. It's not even a question. Look at the numbers. It's not even a question. When guys lined up across from Randy Moss, he struck fear in their hearts. This guy's he ran a 4.2 something in the 40-yard dash. He's running straight down the field. He's gassing you. You ain't catching him. Randy T.O. catch a pass, you hit him. He breaking the tackle. He going up the field for 80 yards. He going to score a touchdown. These guys struck fear in defenses. Defensive coordinators had to change up their whole game plans when it came to these two guys. Both of these guys belong in the Hall of Fame. this year. I don't care what anybody says. Randy Moss is going to be viewed a little differently because if you don't know, he is now on Sunday NFL Countdown. He's going to be viewed differently because he's a peer in the media now. So he's going to be viewed a little differently. I don't know if it's going to play a factor if he gets in this year or not. But to you Hall of Fame voters, you guys might not ever see this video. You might not ever hear my name. Who knows? If you're watching this video, both of these guys, and I think it'll be even better if you put them both if you get them both in the same year. It'll be even better, even for me. For football fans, for wide receiver fans, for T.O. and Randy Moss fans, that'll be even so much better to put both of these two in the league at the same time because they were both tearing up the league at the same time. Randy Moss, he started early. As soon as he came in the league, he was taking the league by storm. T.O. was a little late bloomer, but still, these guys are Hall of Fame football players. Hall of Fame voters, I swear to God. I swear to God. Oh, don't keep both of them out. I'm going to find you. I'm going to find your Twitter. I'm going to spam your Twitter. You might not even have Twitter. I'm going to do something. Keep both of them out of the Hall of Fame this year. I dare you. I dare you. Keep both of these boys out of the Hall of Fame this year. I dare you. I dare you. If it comes down to one, it's got to be T.O. because he's been held out for the past 2 years. It's got to be T.O. if it comes down to one. If Randy gets in next year, it better be next year. But either put both. You better put one of them in because if you don't put either one of them in, I'm telling you, something's gonna happen to somebody. I'm telling you, something's gonna happen to somebody. And if you look at the other guys, the other receivers getting in, that are eligible this year, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt. Isaac Bruce, I already told you, he's number 4 all time in receiver yards. Oh man, I got a feeling they go put Isaac Bruce and hold T.O. and Randy Moss out, man. I really do it. It's gonna hurt my heart if they do it. Hall of Fame voters, y'all gonna lose all y'all credibility. I swear, if y'all keep both of these boys out, y'all are gonna lose all of y'all credibility about. I don't care. If neither one of these two get in this year, you need to eliminate all the Hall of Fame voters. They never need to vote again in the Hall of Fame. I don't care. I do not care. T.O. and Randy Moss, they need to be in the Hall of Fame before Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt. If you can get all 4, you can't even get all 4 of them, man, because how the voting works. These two need to be in before Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt. I'm sorry, Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce, y'all are both Hall of Famers. But if it comes down to y'all being first ballot, well, you ain't even gonna be first ballot, either one of them. But if it comes down to it, it need to be T.O. and Randy Moss, man. And it's not even just because they are my 2 favorite players. Because I know a lot of you might think, oh, you just saying that because you're being biased because you looked up to both of them. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. The numbers speak for themselves. I just put the numbers up. You want me to put them up again? You want me to put them up one more time? Because I'll put them up one more time. I'll do it. You look stupid? They both belong in the Hall of Fame this year. Put them both in, man. That's all I got to say, man. You better put them both in. I'm not playing with y'all. Something going to happen to somebody. You better, and if it come down to one, like I said, it's got to be T.O. Randy. That's my guy. I love you to death. I love both of y'all to death. If y'all ever see this video, man, like I said, I got the utmost respect for y'all, man. I love y'all. I love both of y'all, man. If I ever get the chance to meet either one of y'all, it'll be one of the happiest days of my life, man. I look up to y'all. Like I said, this whole wall behind me was filled up with you guys' photographs. My dream was to make it to the league. I didn't get there. I know it sucks that my dream it didn't happen, man. That's just the way life works, man. You can't get everything you want, but my dream was to make it to the league, be one of the greatest wide receivers of all time, win a Super Bowl, make it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So I know how much it means to both of y'all, especially UTO. I feel like, oh man, I feel like they're gonna put one of them in. And if on that picture that I showed y'all earlier, that guy said I don't see both of them getting in, you need to put both of them in Hall of Fame voters. You need to. That's all I gotta say today, y'all. You can see my passion, man, because this means so much to me, man. These two guys, man. Like I can't. We all got people that we look up to. I know we all got people that we looked up to if you a rapper, if you play sports, you got people that you idolize, man. I say it for the 1 millionth time. These were my 2 guys, man. That's all I got for y'all today, man. Let me know what you think, man. Get in the comment section. You better not say that they don't belong in Hall of Fame. If you gonna say that, you better go somewhere else. Take that shit somewhere else because I don't want to hear that. I ain't gonna tolerate no Randy Moss and no T.O. slander, man. But like this video, man. Subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, man. My subscribers are going up. Shout out to every single one of y'all, man. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at @ballwithp. That's gonna come up at the end of the video, man. I'm gonna catch y'all next time, man. I appreciate you watching. If you watch this video, this probably is gonna be my longest video, man. My most important video. I appreciate you watching. If you are watching, it's your boy P, man. I'm out of here.
Baby blue souls, these white 1196. No retro car came with this. Same year, my Impala with the flow shift. Photo suicide, muscle car chauffeur.